This male protagonist is so miserable. Come back late at night. He died suddenly without even eating a hot meal. I thought I had become a noble. From now on, you can live a life of worry-free food and clothing. I didn't expect my family to be so poor. Not only can't afford Wowatu, there is not a drop of oil in the dish. There are 7 brothers on it. To get my eldest brother married, the family has emptied all their belongings. After eating that good meal, the adult brother has to move out to support himself. To put it bluntly, the family cannot afford it. Life and death from now on. Wealth in the sky. Only the male protagonist Will is young. I can live at home for a few more years. After saying goodbye to a few brothers, Will wondered what he had to learn next. Otherwise, you will die when you mix into adulthood. So, he started going through the books in the house. Stunned from a corner, a crystal ball and instructions were brought out. Original. This crystal ball can test whether it has magical talents. Although everyone is born with magic, but the person who can really use magic is 1 in a million. Will decides to take a gamble. Inject magic with all your strength. Unexpectedly, the crystal ball instantly emits light. It shows that Will is really the chosen one. It's a pity that there is no way to learn magic at home. Will's dad can't even read. Tell him to get out and get firewood. Unexpectedly, just then, the young mages in the middle of the year also caught up with this fluctuation. He flew directly in front of Will. It means that he has finally found a companion. Will almost scared him to death. I planned to kill the mage with a branch. The mage took it back with a backhand. Just this fire stick is still beating people. Unexpectedly, it happened to be thrown on the wild boar. Angry him. Immediately teach these 2 litter men a lesson. Will was so scared that he ran away. But the mage stopped him. He said the best way to get rid of your fears is to face him. And let Will imagine the form of sealing magic. With the help of the mage, Will finally woke up. The wild boar was repelled by a violent storm. And it makes them more violent. The mage thinks it's time to act tough. With a backhand, the wild boar flies out. The mage said his name was Alfred. I will be your master from now on. Stay at home. Hungry for 9 days. Run with the master. Eat enough every day. Since then, Will studied magic with Avery every day. But he was still puzzled. Why was Alfred willing to teach him for free? Alfred said he just wanted to take on an apprentice. Don't think too much. And let Will hide the magic at home. Because the magicians of this century are superior. Although Will is the 8th. But as long as you learn magic, some people will think that Will is suitable to succeed the Lord. This is bound to cause family infighting. So in front of Will's wings, the more cautious the better. And the next day, Alfred began to officially teach him magic. A check. Will's magic power even surpasses his own. This way, Avery will be able to give Will everything he has learned in his life. Will lived up to his expectations. It took only 2 days to learn advanced fire magic. Dad was wondering, what is Will trying to do when he pulls out the crystal ball? You don't really think you can learn magic, do you? Ha ha. To prevent family members from becoming suspicious, Evelyn also helps Will every day. Prepare a whole basket of wild vegetables. Let him go back for business. Mom and sister-in-law are full of praise for the food. But my father discovered a blind spot. Because Will brought back a wild vegetable. You can only step on it if you cross a big river. Could it be that there is magic flying over? This immediately amused everyone. I know it's impossible with but they just laugh. They don't talk. It's just fooled the past. But the eldest brother became suspicious. Then Avery took Will to practice flying. At the same time perceived the properties of wind magic. Will also learn the art of hunting with wind magic. Finally had a barbecue. And Will suggested to Avery to add mustard. Unexpectedly, Alfred added a bunch directly. I eat it, but my face doesn't change. It's like having no sense of taste. At the same time, Will also noticed that Big Brother seemed to be spying on him. I'm afraid of suspicion. Will threaten the position of the first heir. But Will is not interested in the Lord. Alfred proposed that he become an adventurer. Because I have come all the way. This gave Will a vision for adventure. Little do you know, Alfred was suppressing a dangerous aura in the dark. A week went by. Alfred has basically put what he has learned. It's all handed over to Will. Will also told his family about his dream of being an adventurer. Big brother just let down his guard. Papa mentioned dead fish in the forest. They have no senses. It won't be long before you become a harmful zombie. This sentence immediately made Will realize that something was wrong. He hurried to where Alfred was located. I want to take my master out of this dangerous forest. However, Alfred confessed. He's actually a dead fish. A couple of years ago, Avery, with 2,000 soldiers, go to the Devil's Forest to find the magic medicine. Unexpectedly, the number of monsters is more than tens of thousands. Avery can only protect soldiers while fighting. Finally died in battle. But because he still has a strong nostalgia, he stayed here as a dead fish. He aspires to apply what he has learned throughout his life. Pass it on to someone worth trusting. So Will's appearance was nothing short of a miracle. In the end, Avery turned into a zombie. Let Will purify himself with holy magic. After sending the master away, Will also decided to study magic harder. Will has arrived. The school age finally got into the adventure school. However, as a fallen aristocrat, no one wants to talk to him at all. Little do they know that the opposite is true. The students all know. Will is the only magic special enrollment. Don't even dare to talk to him. To make Will look up to him, brother Huang Mao decided to get close to his strength. The blue-haired girl and the red-haired girl team up. That makes you the strongest group. To demonstrate strength, they managed to catch 3 wild boars in hunting class. Already number 1 in the class. Unexpectedly, Will took out the master's storage bag, pulled out a dozen prey from it. The students were in despair. Will is not on the same level as them. No matter how hard you try, you can't catch up. After Will gets paid, I was thinking of making friends by treating guests. I saw that the students had all run away. In the evening, Brother Huang Mao started a small meeting again. None of them are firstborn, so no inheritance rights. The only way out is to hug Will's thigh, to find an opportunity to get ahead. So the next day they went back deep into the forest, decided to hunt wild animals. In exchange for Will's approval, unexpectedly, he encountered a group of wolves. Just as 3 people were about to die in the wolf's mouth, Vale arrives in time. The dagger is an earth escape arm. Kill all the wolves in seconds while protecting the 3. It turns out that Will was hunting. 3 people were discovered by perception magic. That's how he saved it. Through this incident, the 3 finally recognized the gap with Will. He said he would never team up with Will again. Will is about to plead. Unexpectedly, the teacher suddenly broke in, brought good news. It turns out that the Count of the Border is going to entertain this class of students. If you can be seen by a great nobleman, getting ahead is not a dream. So on the day of the banquet, everyone changed into the most luxurious clothes. The Earl is only interested in Will. I would also like to invite Will to talk in detail. However, Will said he had to bring his teammates. The red, yellow, and blue trio. 3 people were instantly stunned. Can't guess what medicine is sold in Will's gourd. After arriving at the Earl's castle, Will met the chief archmage of the Count's house. It turns out that the archmage is Master Will's master. That's Will's teacher. He also felt Will's magic back then. I've always wondered who that person was, until I saw the storage bag that Will was carrying. Only then did he realize that Will was his disciple and grandson. Due to storage bags and military supplies left by Alfred. Will also return them to the Count. After the 3 learned of Will's experience, immediately said they were not qualified to form a team. Just trying to take advantage of Wizard Will's identity. Will means each other. He also used the 3 of them to ease the atmosphere. So it's even. And Will doesn't care about the strength of his teammates. I just want to make a few close friends. The estrangement between classmates has finally been solved. Just then, The Count and the Grand Master chased after them again. For the supplies sent back by Will, the Earl decided to pay Will 20%. I didn't expect a full 1,000 gold coins. And not only that, the high seas helped transfer the Avery mansion to Will. Will was stunned on the spot. This is not a bicycle becoming a motorcycle, but the bicycle has become a Rolls-Royce. It's summer vacation soon. Will's third brother is getting married. So, he took his classmates on an empty boat to congratulate him. Unexpectedly, it was on the way to the wedding. An undead lion actually appeared in the sky, just as the passengers panicked. The construction provided an accurate analysis. This thing needs purification magic. So, I gave the opportunity to get ahead to Will. Will flies outside to meet. Construction is magic. Legal barrier protects flying ship. Will twitches and twitches in the sky. Easily avoid all attacks. Then, he planted a super large tortoise shooting magic straight into the lion's mouth. After a blinding white light, the lion dragon fell apart on the spot. At this time, the master hurriedly reminded, quickly use the storage bag to collect the body of the lion dragon. These things are worth a fortune. Except for the body. Will even got the ruby as the core. Then everyone arrived at their destination. Then the knights found their people. It turns out that Will's crusade against the dragon has spread to the king's capital. The king wanted to meet the dragon slayer himself. This face must be given. So Will and the big merchant went to see the king. The king is also rewarded and punished. Since Will protected the flying ship, he directly awarded the title of Baronet Will. Will was shocked. Hurry up and swear allegiance. The third brother laughed. Now Will's position is higher than his father's. Then comes the part of dealing with the body of the Ligosaur. Wilbur intended to give it directly to the king for free. Unexpectedly, I haven't waited for him to open his mouth. The ministers below quarreled. The Chancellor of the Exchequer wants to buy it for the least amount of money. The Secretary of Military believes that Sherlock materials can greatly enhance a country's combat power. Will must be given better treatment. And then the bishop comes out and slurries the mud. Tell them to take a step back. Let's get a compromise price. Will is confused. I have no idea what they are arguing about. The big business people can see through it at a glance. All three of them have their own interests in mind. Will has a good relationship with the bishop. And the poor are in the busy city and no one asks. Rich has distant relatives in the mountains. In the future, more and more people will have relationships with Wilpan. Will has an instant headache. It's too realistic. And the next day, Team Will attended the third brother's wedding. The two brothers are very embarrassed because there is no congratulatory gift from Dad. Do you think this is reasonable? And here's what's even more annoying. He even wrote a letter asking these two brothers to pay. They can barely support themselves. Isn't that difficult? Will had no choice but to say that I paid for it.
And he called people to his house.
Had a good meal.
Since then,
And Will knew the importance of meeting the powerful. Came to church early in the morning and offered his heart to the bishop. The bishop also likes this young man. I specially asked my granddaughter Alice to come over to bring tea. Just a face-to-face. Will saw that Alice was also a mage. The bishop said directly that Alice was good at using healing magic. I often save lives and injuries. People call him the Virgin of the Church. And there are countless suitors. Will also praised. Express that you also like girls like Alice. If I could marry her, I will not go to the morning from now on.
so go dunk.
It turns out that this is all a set by the bishop. Will just met Alice. It's a lifetime event. Will, I had no idea the Joker was me. After brother Huang Mao learned of this, he put on heavy makeup for him. No one will recognize Will's identity on the street like this. However, true fans can be recognized no matter how abstract they are. This green hair only looked at it once. Will's identity is revealed. The next second the adventurers swarmed, all vying to be Will's retainer, forcing Will to run away with wear and send magic. So brother Huang Mao committed suicide. Why not after he comes to be a retainer? help reject other adventurers. Unexpectedly, Will directly agreed. After learning the news that brother Huang Mao became Jiechen, the blue-haired girl and the red-haired girl are envious to death. They want to work for Will, too. But in this way, brother Huang Mao is the boss of the two. They thought it was worse than death. So it's better to change the track. To be Will's concubine. You can crush brother Huang Mao as your lover. After all, it is normal for nobles to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. So that night, the blue-haired girl began to think about the way to seduce. On the other hand, Will came to the church. Sneak away, Alice. After all, I have to ask the little girl what she thinks of this nonsense. Unexpectedly, Alice was very happy. He can't wait to marry the Dragon Slayer hero. And Will was relieved. Then the bishop also sent the butler to find Will. I hope Will can make an appointment with Alice for dinner. Will has absolutely no experience with Muse. There was not a word of communication. The housekeeper presses the prompt for your first date. Don't you give girls some meat and greet gifts?
Then,
He took Will to the most expensive jewelry store in the country. It's full of expensive rings. Although Will is not what he used to be, but it's economical. Seeing Alice take a fancy to a red stone ring, and Will decided to photograph it. Unexpectedly, a small ring actually costs 300 million. Will was dumbfounded on the spot. But to keep the girls from looking down on him, I still gritted my teeth and bought it. On the way back, Alice said that this ring can store a lot of magic power. I think I can definitely help Will in the future. Will fulfilled him, inject magic into the ring, made a romantic starry sky top for the carriage. Now Alice finally fell in love with him. I didn't expect Will to just go back. The Lone King issues an edict, ordered Will to go on an expedition with the other 2 mages, to crusade against the dragons who make trouble in the territory. Will was shocked. Is the muscular man also a mage? Don't look at muscular men who are ugly. His strength is the strongest king. Direct set of magic transformation. Turn himself into a heavy armor warrior. Turns out he's a combat mage. Not only can you play with the dragon, one shot of the warhammer can blind the dragon.
scared to the point.
Run away while he's holding. Will is also fine. One shot super escape. With a strong green light. The dragon was finally successfully hacked. Then put the body in a storage bag. Will was just about to breathe a sigh of relief. Unexpectedly, the construction said, the real trouble lies ahead. It turns out that as long as the dragon dies, all monsters riot. In this way, Master Simon has to face another difficult battle, while Alice is in the rear, desperately healing the wounded soldiers. After hearing the good news of the victory, Alice rushed forward at once. To see Will return safely, he fainted from exhaustion. After this, the two are also getting closer and closer to prevent Will from continuing to be a hero. Alice also moved into Will's house. The blue-haired girl and the red-haired girl panicked. The whole issue is here. How can you be a concubine now? Unexpectedly, Alice is very open-minded. I think it is reasonable for nobles to accept concubines. Coriocusatus. With Alice's acquiescence, Will finally has 3 lovers. Finally completed the dragon-slaying task. Will just wanted to take a few days off. The result was told again. There is also a martial arts competition that he needs to participate in. Will thought it would be okay to use some magic. His brother told him, you can't use magic in this tournament. You can only perform competitive fighting swordsmanship. That's not going to work for Will. Mage, you asked me to fight bayonets with people. Isn't this a mess? At the same time, the other team members also decided to participate in the competition. Brother Huang Mao also fought. Worked harder than anyone. Will wants to lie flat. He felt that as long as he did not encounter a strong enemy, it's not difficult to mix up your own rankings. But watching my partner work so hard, he also decided to do something for everyone. Brother Huang Mao can only practice death force. Strength has not improved much. I want to lie down too. Even if his companions ask him to exercise together. He doesn't want to either. Blending. Alice, who learned that she can only guide magic, is also training. and practice harder than yourself. Brother Huang Mao was deeply touched, so I threw myself into the training. On the day of the competition, Will lives up to expectations. The beginning met the strongest king. One move was seconds. I sit calmly and drink tea, laugh and watch the next game. Not long after, the rest of the companions were also defeated. And that's when you learn. It turns out that the love bento brought by Alice. Will worked so hard to prepare that night. After learning the secret of the bento, Brother Huang Mao decided to fight for his comrades in the last round. You can't get a bento easily without saying anything, although he still lost in the end. But it also gave him the opportunity to learn from the saints. And Will has also been arranged with a master. It turned out to be the previous muscle. Make sure Will practices hard with him. It's so hard. After that, Will finally qualified as an adventurer. This means that his career of fighting monsters is about to begin. No longer bound by aristocratic status. But just when Will was finally free, the king ordered Will's team to explore the ancient ruins. Freedom is fleeting. Due to the exploration of the elite team, they did not come back. So it's determined that there are dragons in here. Master will also go with Will's team. As we go deeper into the cave, Will is also drunk, except for the master. Everyone is hiding behind him. Are you counting on crispy skin as a meat shield? If the opponent is really a dragon, teammates don't have the strength to fight at all. A door next to it attracted everyone's attention. The weird thing is that there is only one purple magic circle inside. Whether it's a monster corpse or the adventurer's body is gone. The construction perception is not good. This is a teleportation trap. He immediately let the crowd out. The voice just fell. The door is closed. Closed immediately. The formation passed everyone away one by one. Wait until you open your eyes again. They have reached the bottom of the labyrinth. It says next to it, only by killing to the top can you survive. The blue-haired girl thinks, well, teleports anyway. There is no need to kill at all. However, teleportation requires a precondition. You have to know where you are. Apparently, Will doesn't know this is. So, everyone can only climb the stairs obediently. In the next second, they met hundreds of magic children. Will is going to use a big move to clean up directly. But Brother Yellowhair thinks Will should keep his magic. After all, I don't know how many layers there are left. So the three who can't do magic are the forwards. Shurgong, and will use small magic to assist. Alice is a nurse, although the process is a bit tiring. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but I didn't wait for everyone to fully rest. The next batch of golems is coming again. 5 days have passed. The king is also worried about Will and others. There have been people with bad intentions during this period, spreading rumors of Will's death. Sent a letter to Will's eldest brother in his hometown. Let the eldest brother inherit Will's title. Little did he know that the team had been divided into 2 shifts. When a team fights, the other team hurry up to eat and rest. This rhythm is like hitting a screw in the field. This is the paradigm. They finally reached the top of the labyrinth. But before everyone is happy, a bigger crisis has arisen. The one guarding this floor turned out to be a dragon. When they met, they launched an attack. And here's what's even worse.
Because there's not much magic left.
Time, and will had to defend with all their might.
There's no room to fight back.
The golem behind him is also approaching to learn from it. The current way of construction. Only by defeating the dragon can there be a chance of survival. Then he poured all his magic on Will. Even so, the strength of the 2 sides is still equal. As time goes by, sooner or later it will be Will who loses. Alice couldn't care less at this point. Kissed Will directly. Unleashed a once-in-a-lifetime miracle of light. This round of stunned Alice 7 collapsed. And Will, who had recovered, struck the dragon in seconds. The soldiers finally stopped, but Will also passed out. When he wakes up, the construction has been thoroughly investigated here. Discovered here is the legacy left by the ancient masters. And the crowd undoubtedly passed the test. In addition to a large number of magic books, There are also 7 magic ships. Each car is worth as much as a Ferrari. But Will just wanted to live the ordinary adventurer life. He is not interested in these treasures. Simply sold it all to the king. Now Will is directly a billionaire. The country can't come up with so much money for a while. I had to sign an installment contract with Will. The result is a big draw. A pink-haired girl found out. Quietly came to Will's mansion. And I looked at what people ate. As Will prepares for an adventure back home, he suddenly discovered a major problem. If everyone moved back to his hometown, the mansion is left unguarded. To avoid some liability, Will thinks someone should take care of the house. Speaking of which, the red-haired girl thought of a suitable candidate. That is the green hair with the #1 gun in King City. Then Will found this person. I hope he can be his own butler. In this way, green hair finally became Will's subordinate. He also warmly entertained the crowd with cakes. This scene made the peeping pink girl greedy. It was discovered by everyone at birth. Green hair thinks it must be the person who spread rumors of Will's death. So, I decided to find out the culprit behind the scenes. The day before returning home, the Magic Society invited Will to come. HQ wants Will with a lot of magic to test the magic array of the new research, as long as the magic is enough. In theory, anything imaginable can be summoned. Will tried it. Unexpectedly, a fat man was summoned. The next second, he got a punch. I didn't expect you to be like this, Will. Will has to try again. Fortunately, there was no accident this time. Finally summoned what I wanted. Then he was pulled back to the mansion in a car. And the pink hair that has been tracking also sneaked into Will's mansion. Turns out there's a big party going on at Will's house. Finale entree. It's Will's tuna sashimi, plus Will's exclusive soy sauce. Instantly conquered the taste buds of everyone. Pink Mao can't hold it just by looking at it. At this time, green hair also reported the investigation results, spreading rumors that it is the minister who cannot be reused. I want to use Will's death to enhance my influence. And the reason why green hair can find out the truth so quickly, just because that minister is his father. But he did not recognize the son of a commoner. This wave is really powerful. Soon Alice brought another tuna. This time, the pink hair can no longer suppress the appetite. Forcibly break the door directly. Yellow hair just wanted to stop. I got a shoulder fall in 1 second, just when everyone wondered who this pink hair was. The Minister of Animals is also here. That this was his gluttonous daughter. I want to introduce Will as my wife. After a day of follow-up investigation, the king believes that Will is qualified to be his husband. And then I'm dragging Will for tuna. It seems that Will's charm is in his eyes. It's better than a sashimi. The Minister of Military Affairs also said, let him be a guard or a wife. Will is really bitter, I can't tell. Back to Will's hometown. Sister-in-law received Will death. The rumor says, let Big Brother inherit Will's degree and legacy. Big Brother is so happy. At this time, sister-in-law was startled by what appeared outside the window. Big Brother hurriedly got up to check. Unexpectedly, Will has arrived at the door with his teammates. I want to sentence Lao Tzu to death. I'm afraid I don't want to eat farts. It turns out that Will is here to exterminate the dead fish in the depths of the forest. Bad light. A large number of dead fish emerged from the depths of the forest. Will seize this. Hastily ask Alice to arrange a large-scale purification magic. The husband and wife work together to establish a large magic protection circle. Let the inmates go to the west in an instant. Equipment that exploded. Everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. However, Will offended his eldest brother because of this. Big Brother is spreading rumors everywhere. Will never came back. I'm just afraid that he will take the position of the Lord. The villagers are not stupid. Find Will, and hope he can become a lord. Verville, on the other hand, expressed his desire to live an adventurer's life. Once you own territory, you're not free to take risks. The village chief said that as long as you leave it to someone you trust to manage. Lords can also take risks, For example, you can do it yourself. So scared that Will quickly rejected him. The village chief still doesn't give up. Bring another group of villagers to find Will. Ask Will to be their lord. Because his big brother is so stupid. There's no future with him. Will's eldest brother heard about it, angry to execute these villagers, including their families. So Will came to the door. I hope Big Brother can give him half of the territory. I will compensate him with a title and a large amount of gold coins. Unexpectedly, the Big Brother became angry, tear up the map on the spot, and pointed out that Will just wanted to kick him off. Then tell my brother to get out of here at top speed. Will Bun wanted to leave. Unexpectedly, he was stopped by his sister-in-law. After talking about the heart, they make a lot of delicious food. There are also some fashionable clothes from the capital, free to the villagers of the territory, just to be polite and not surprising. Unexpectedly, this scene was seen by the legs of the eldest brother. And I'm going to give you a nice description. The big brother was furious. Instead of letting this kid win over people, why don't you kill him yourself first? Suddenly, a mocking voice came. Big Brother looked up. I saw the man smile sinisterly and tell Big Brother, only with this magic flute can we deal with Will.
And the next day,
Big Brother asked Will to meet him deep in the woods and laughed at him for being just an eighth, not the eldest son. It's not your turn to eat shit in this territory. Then take out the magic flute. The construction was a surprise. This is a legendary prop. According to legend, in ancient times, the magic flute sounded thousands of Dragon Chi Dojo. If this is real, that guy has to be finished. Big Brother also learned to smile evil. You kid is finally cowardly. Will calls you blow your wife and kids to death. I didn't expect my big brother to care at all. If the wife and children are gone, just look for them again. This scumbag made Will angry. Everyone could only helplessly watch him play the magic flute. Just when Will wanted to rush over to stop it, everyone found that his eldest brother was surrounded by resentment. Only then did I know that my brother was deceived by others. It's a pirated copy. Construction told Will. That's the magic flute of resentment. If you don't stop, no one else can help. In the end, he will only curse himself as a ghost. Next second, powerful resentment created a troll. Construction told Will. His eldest brother is dead. Troll punches. Fortunately, Alice resisted it. But this resentment is too powerful. Alice couldn't take it anymore. Then Will finally came to his senses. Accept the fact that Big Brother died. Join Alice in fending off the attacks of the trolls. A long pull. The trolls finally broke down and died. All that's left is the magic flute of resentment. One night, my brother's resentment flew through the air. Seems to be looking for something. At this time, a group of high-ranking officials were still discussing how to kill Will. Little did they know that the Wraith had their eyes on them. Just when they mocked Big Brother, Will, for being a piece of shit, Big Brother's grievance can't stand it anymore. The next day, there were rumors in the streets. A number of high-ranking aristocrats died last night. And Big Brother Will's resentment was also evolved by the exorcist. One night, Alice noticed Will's displeasure. Just ask her out. Under the comfort of Alice, Will finally gave up his knot. After the king learned the reason for this, also decided to reward Will. Not only did he hand over the territory to Will, but will have any needs, just ask. Will says many nobles died as a result. Their seats are also vacant. So it's better to let yourself appoint some people to be nobles. You know, this is the right of the king. All the ministers are also angry. Your boy thinks beautifully. Then the muscular man also came to persuade the king. Under his kind words, the king finally agreed to Will. Will also showed his loyalty. He will always fight for his country and his people. No two hearts. After going back, Will immediately found his sister-in-law. Don't blame brothers for not being human. I only blame my sister-in-law for being too charming. I will raise my wife in the future. Brother, rest in peace. Sister-in-law is happy. Will is finally motivated. Come to the wasteland with you guys, and use magic to make mountains and roads. Believe that under his leadership, soon my wife and sister-in-law will be hot. This episode was originally just an ordinary Mo Outyen work. I didn't expect the male protagonist to rely on a killing song sister-in-law. It's on fire. In fact, it is only because his eldest brother is bad and stupid. Finally, self-destruct. I can't blame the male protagonist. Banan, stop making trouble. The first season is over. According to the plot of the follow-up novel, When We Got Married, there is an indescribable story with my sister-in-law, but that's for later animations. Finally, remember to help Sister Gwan follow and like it. Let's see you in Season 2.